not going to beat about the bush. We are not going to second guess. We are going straight to form the next government. We are working with or without ODM. Okay? Oka tuko tayari kabisa. And we welcome every friend who wants to act in the best interest ya kuokoa nchi hii kutoka kwa wafisadi, ajiunge nasi. Including ODM, by the way.
We invite ODM and its leadership. If they are willing to join us, they join us as one among equals so that we can be able to move together. Remember that politics is about interests. It is not about enmity or personalities or grudges. Yesterday's opponents are today's allies. Yesterday's political adversaries are today's political partners.
That's why we are leaving it open for negotiation between Wiper and ODM. It's as simple as that. If they see the bigger picture, nobody like Sifuna will go running there and say, exit Robert Mbui, exit Mutula Kilonzo Jr.
The NEC has further deliberated on the future of the party and its need to make new friends. We intend to embark on a program to build new partnerships and extend the ongoing talks with our potential partners to the grassroots.
Okay. Wow. Listening to that, I'm sure you may get confused of what's going on. So allow me, Honorable Kamket, to begin with Robert Mbui, because his leader has been speaking for longer in that clip. He tells us that they're ready to move on with or without ODM, then invites everyone, including ODM, then says that ODM has to shape up, including the likes of Sifuna. What is he saying? What is your party saying?
I think my party leader is saying what we are saying here, that we are not burning bridges. You know, remember there is a building bridges initiative. We want to build bridges. And like I said earlier, we are just moving from one house to a bigger house. And that bigger house, we want everyone on board. And I'll tell you this, Sam, if you remember, the Grand Coalition government did excellent work for this country. In fact, everyone keeps talking about the Grand Coalition government. And that is because it's a government that brought in people from all over. You know, a real government of national unity. And that's what we need in this country. That's why my party leader is, much as you know, because the perception is that we have divorced and left ODM. That's why I keep saying, no, we are not really completely severed links with ODM. That's I think, the message, that going forward, we are likely to work with them. And we've said that chances are that we will work together. You've had the ODM party leader also say the same. So I think going forward, Kenyans should expect that we will be able to come together in a bigger way, in a better way. Just like CORD gave way for NASA, now NASA is going to give way for a much bigger and better coalition.
Yes. Is that coalition One Kenya Alliance?
One Kenya Alliance is where we've started. I think ODM have gone to do a coalition with Jubilee. Going forward, we are likely to get together and then we'll discuss the name. But I think that's what is going to happen.
Okay, I want to raise this question with Honorable Kamket, but first let's listen to his Secretary General, that is Nick Salat, and Party Leader Gideon Moi, because they said something in Nakuru last week.
Kina Musalia Mudavadi, Kalonzo Musyoka, waheshimu hii mkataba tulionao na nini? Na Jubilee. Si ndio? Na tukatai kuungana na hawa, lakini vile tuliambiwa na NDC yetu ya kwamba we support Jubilee. We are not turning back. We will support Uhuru Kenyatta's government up to that particular moment when we actually form another formation, which is after the election or before the election.
Wengine wakitaka kwenda njia zao, wacha waende. Tukutane vile SG alimesema. Us versus them. Na hakuna hii wakati kikuja, hakuna kusema oh niko katikati nini, hakuna.
Honorable Kamket, so what's going on? Because we have pictures showing that the party leaders of the four parties, including yours, are in One Kenya Alliance. We even had a press conference on Monday last week, people indicating that you're going to exit our coalitions. Well, Jubilee didn't, KANU didn't specifically state, but someone stated that also KANU was going to exit from the Jubilee. But for them to come and form One Kenya Alliance, they may have to exit the existing Jubilee coalition. But then your Secretary General says that will not happen. What is the position of KANU in this?
You know, it's very simple. I like what Mheshimiwa Mbui said. It's very simple. We are all preparing for a general election. And there are many formations coming as we move forward. And there are formations that happened after 2017 or before 2017. And those formations must give way to the new formations. It's as simple as that. So we signed, as KANU, a post-election agreement with Jubilee. And that's why we are cooperating. That's why I'm chairman of a committee in Parliament. And we will go on with that until the end of the term of this government. Okay? But as we do that, we continue to build for the future. Okay? And this is now what's happening with this. You dispersed to meet ahead. With NASA has dispersed. Jubilee is dispersing, so to prepare for the next general election. So we form a bigger coalition for the next government. So it's as simple. It's not complicated.
You say it's simple, but it's not as simple for me to understand. Maybe because I'm not a politician. But your Secretary General says that we'll form the next coalition after the election. Then he says, or before the election.
No.
You're saying, just hold on. Yeah. You're saying that in a post-election agreement with the Jubilee that goes up to the end of the term. The term ends in August. In August, there's a general election. Will you have the time to serve until the end of the term and reorganize to approach the election in a coalition? How do you do that?
You know, I don't know. You're not understanding. We are. Can I say it in Kiswahili?
Just say it in English.
Because it's a very simple matter. We are pushing this one as we form the other one. It's as simple as that.
Your partners in now, Kenya Alliance have left their coalition to come and join with you.
Yes.
You are not leaving your coalition.
The coalition, One Kenya Alliance and any other coalition we're talking about is coalition for the future. We are rebuilding and rebranding in order to fight in the next general election. So whatever is happening is for the future. Do you understand? So if there are some bakshishi, we can still. Do you understand?
Honorable Kamket, the Jubilee.
I mean, how do you want us to leave Uhuru alone when he's still in power? So we have to hang around a bit as we usher him into retirement as we form the next administration. And we cannot form the next administration with Uhuru because he's retiring.
Your choice is interesting, you hang around. But look, the party that you're hanging around is already in talks with ODM to form a coalition.
Yes.
So who's the loser here?
I'm
saying the party you're hanging around, the Jubilee Party, is already in talks to form a coalition, a pre-election coalition with the ODM. Yes. And you're insisting
we will eventually, let me just tell you this for free. We will eventually come together. What is left of Jubilee, okay, after the URP side has left, that section of Jubilee, actually TNA, let me just be clear, TNA and Mbas, maybe, will join us with the ODM and with One Kenya Alliance. That is what is going to happen.
When will that happen?
Soon. Just hang around.
Yeah.
So Honorable Wandai.
We have no choice, by the way. We have to come together.
Okay. I'll get to you, Honorable Chris Omala, but Honorable Wandai, so we've been told that you're going into talks with the Jubilee Party. Do you know how far that has gone, ODM and Jubilee?
You know, first and foremost, from the clips you've just aired, the common denominator seems to be ODM. And it can't be by mistake. It goes just basically a long way to demonstrate the fact that ODM remains a formidable factor in our politics now and in the future. And secondly, the question of us talking with Jubilee is a matter in the public domain. Okay? We are in talks with not only Jubilee, but with very many other players and actors on the political field, including our former partners in NASA. And these talks are not just about forming a coalition to capture power. They are talks aimed at ensuring that once we form government, okay, we shall not repeat the mistakes that have been made by previous governments, including the current Jubilee government, okay? That when we form government, we shall put the interests of the common person first, okay? And that we shall implement a transformative agenda that will change the status of this country for the benefit of the people, okay? That is really the thrust of our talks with all these like-minded political actors, okay? And those talks will continue. And as I've said before, it's becoming apparent, the shape of the formation that will face the elections. What is critical for us moving forward is to try and understand what the country wants. You know, in the past, the mistakes we made in the past, part of them were that these coalitions were being formed in boardrooms, okay? These coalitions were being formed in boardrooms. People were drafting MOUs or coalition agreements in boardrooms and coming out to sign them in public. We want the narrative to change. And that's why we want to engage our bases. We want to engage the people at the grassroots, okay? Even as these talks with political parties continue, we want the grassroots to be involved, okay, Sam? Okay. And also make the country understand that the kind of politics that is being perpetrated by the splinter group within Jubilee, you know, that splinter group that revolves around the Tanga, okay? That kind of politics has got no place or room in this country, okay? And if we are not careful, that kind of politics can become intoxicating, okay?
What is intoxicating in that?
Yes, in terms of the narrative they are purveying, okay, of causing divisions between classes of citizens, okay, and people based on their origins. We are going to show the country that this country can be made to stay together under government that is led by responsible people, and it's our hope, of course, in ODM, that government will be led by Raila Amolo Odinga, okay? Of course, that time is going to come when we shall, of course, put forward the proposal to have Raila Odinga fly the flag of the bigger movement, yes.
Do you think he's interested in running for presidency next year?
I am not sure if he's interested. I'm not sure if Raila Odinga is interested in running for president next year. But what I am sure of is that we, as his supporters, those of us who support him, those of us who believe in him, those of us who believe in his transformative agenda, okay, are demanding that Raila Amolo Odinga runs for president in 2022, yes.
You're saying you're not sure. Have you asked him?
Well, you see, whether I've asked him or not is not really the point. The point here is that he has not pronounced himself yet that he's running for president.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Let's listen to Musalia Mudavadi on his thoughts about the future after NASA.
Kuendesha gari, hawezi kuendesha gari kila mara ukiangalia ile kioo ya kukuonyesha nyuma. Sasa ni lazima tuangalie mbele, tujipange. 2022 inakuja, na mimi nawataka munisaidie nipate nafasi ya kuongoza taifa la Kenya kama rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya.
All right, so Dr. Chris Omalo, Musalia Mudavadi may not be your party leader, but works very closely with your party leader, Moses Wetangula. And if you have to look on page 4 of the Standard, you'll see a story of them. They were attending a church service together at ACK Deruta in Nairobi. That was yesterday. And for him, he's clear that there's no turning back, that his is a run for the presidency in 2022. He has been touring different counties, including some in Mount Kenya region, popularizing his candidature. So when it comes to One Kenya Alliance, or whatever alliance will be, and all these political parties are together, all the political leaders, the party leaders are there, each of them wants to be president. You've heard from Kalonzo Musyoka, you've heard from Musalia Mudavadi, one Opiyo Wandayi here says that Raila Odinga, they want him to run. How will you pick a presidential candidate from lessons within NASA?
Thank you. Thank you very much for that question. And I want to tell Honorable one day that the bigger coalition that is likely to be formed, whether it's One Kenya Alliance or whatever the name, is not guaranteed that Raila Amolo Odinga will be the flag bearer. As a coalition, when we come together, we are going to put criteria and measures in place to ensure the person that is going to score is going to give the coalition a win. And like in a football game, you can be a star striker, but when it's come to scoring, una score inje. You can give another person, maybe is in a strategic position, maybe Gideon Moi, maybe Wetangula, maybe Musalia, or maybe Kalonzo. So as we move forward, and that's why my party leader Weta said, if Raila joins the coalition, he's coming among equals, because the objective of this coalition is team working, so that you put a flag bearer in place who is likely to score and to win. And what Musalia Mudavadi said, and Musalia Mudavadi, for heaven's sake, has all the qualities in terms of scoring. So let's not assume that when the coalition come together, automatically Raila Odinga is the flag bearer. No. And he has said it many times. So the issue is, as we move forward, and I'm happy that the current One Kenya Alliance, we sit on that board with the Honorable Kamket, and we already have a technical team in place. And on Tuesday, morning hours, I think in Serena, there's going to be official burial for NASA.
You mean tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow. Maybe the technical team should be able to notify you at Serena Hotel. We are going to have the burial rites. We are going to bury NASA. The shelf life, it had expired. We are saying bye-bye.
Who's
so that
deciding?
The pastor will be known tomorrow. If at all, you'll be there. You'll be invited accordingly. So way forward, when One Kenya Alliance come together, and if ODM joins us and the other teams in Jubilee or whatever the case, we are going to have a proper criteria in place to ensure that whoever is going to be the scorer, this is a person who is going to be acceptable across the board, and this is the person we're going to look at the mitigating strategies. As I said, in this narrative, of course, Raila Odinga becomes somebody who has run for presidency, I think the most times. Is it 4 times, 5 times now? Yeah?
4 times.
4 times, yeah. So it's not guaranteed that he'll be the 5th one. Maybe you have somebody who has never. And this person might be in a vantage position of scoring, whereby he's not marked. If we see Raila Amolo Odinga is being marked by 5, 6 people, and the chances of scoring are minimal, why not give this other one? Maybe at the corner somewhere, maybe it's Musalia Mudavadi, he scores, and if we win as a team. Or maybe Kalonzo, or maybe Gideon, or maybe Weta. That is the assumption we are going to use when we'll be going to look at the models, permutations, combinations, to come up with a flag bearer who is going to give a win.
Dr. Chris Omalwa, I'm sure what you're saying is not very new to you, because I spoke to you in 2017, and you told me the considerations that were being taken into place within NASA. You are looking at the ability to mobilize.
Yes.
Both resources and people.
Yes.
The economic muscle of the candidate, and the charisma that that candidate would have. And after all the negotiations, because I remember a very famous bite of the party leader of Wiper, that is Kalonzo Musyoka, saying at the age of 63, he could not wait any longer to be president. Now he's 67, going to 68 next year. Musalia Mudavadi will be 60, and Raila Odinga will be 77. How will you go around at this time to ensure that a flag bearer is someone else but Raila?
Now, one thing about the age, I want to rule out the issue of the age. Because under our constitution, it's very clear who is to run for presidency. So to us, age is not a factor.
Now, I'm using the age because Kalonzo Musyoka said at the age of 63, he could not wait any longer. That was in 2017. He still did.
Yeah. You see, Kalonzo, that was his opinion. But the moment we come together on a round table and we define where we want to go. So if you work together as a team, the word team, T-E-A-M, means together, everyone achieves more. It doesn't matter who will be the flag bearer at that time. But so long as we sit down together, we come up with a criteria that is acceptable. Just like when you're playing football, you might be a good striker, number 9, but you are seeing number 7 is in a vantage position. You pass the ball to that person to score, so that when you win as a team. Everybody has added value.
Does that mean it's possible that Raila Odinga can be the presidential candidate for your new alliance?
I cannot rule him out. That's what I said. I cannot rule him out. But what I said is not automatic.
Okay.
You see, there's a difference when you talk about being automatic and coming together as a team, then you agree, your own volition. So all our efforts, everybody will be learning behind that particular candidate. When it comes to issues of the economic muscle, it doesn't matter. Many people have won presidency, and because of their support, look at what happened in the US. US is a very good model. Barack Obama. People contribute when they believe in a cause. If the issue was money, Uhuru Kenyatta will not have lost to Mwai Kibaki in 2002. Because Moi was there, they had all the monies, the central bank with them, everything. But the issue here is not only on the issue of the economic muscle, actually. When you agree, come together as a team, and you identify a candidate, that this is the agreeable candidate who is likely to sell across the board. When it comes to economic aspects, we have a fundraising strategy committee that come in place, and we all bring all our resources together behind that particular person. And we agree when you form government, in my community we say, when you go hunting and you get an animal, atamukia ni nyama. So that you'll be agreeable, so that you move together as a team. And you won't want to form a government of the people, for the people, and by the people.
Let's listen to Honorable Mbui first, because the NASA agreement was that ODM would be locked out from running again at the presidency. It was interpreted variously, some saying that it was pegged on them on winning the election, which NASA didn't. Now it's out of the way, so it I mean, you're starting from the start, because Kalonzo Musyoka said that he's not ready to play second fiddle again without some measure of reciprocity. But if it is actually a possibility that Raila Odinga can be the flag bearer for whatever alliance becomes, then how do the ambitions of Wiper sit in such an arrangement?
The reality is that Wiper is also a political party with its own interests. And obviously, as an organizing secretary of the party and a ranking member in parliament on the basis of this party, we obviously would support our party leader to be the candidate for presidency in 2022. And that is essentially what he said, because we also, as Wiper, believe in his credentials, and we believe that time is ripe for him to be president of the Republic of Kenya. But you see, when you listen to Chris Omalwa, he also has a point that is really something that you cannot ignore. That now we may have to agree that we are going to sit at the table as equals. And I think that's really, really critical. That we don't go there with a sense of entitlement. Though we are founder members of OKA, we don't sit at the table with a sense of entitlement. We believe that everybody can be president, because this team is made up of people who are at the same level. Each of them can actually run the country together with the support of the other. So I think I would speak for Wiper and say our candidate is Kalonzo Musyoka. We have said that in NEC. We will repeat that over and over again. But that does not mean that a candidate picked outside my party leader cannot also be the candidate for the coalition. So as Wiper, if you ask me that question, I will always say it's Kalonzo. So I think it's a difficult question for me, because I cannot say anybody else.
Okay. And Honorable Opiyo Wandayi, one of the lessons that Honorable Mbui mentioned is that you made a mistake in 2017 to field candidates, same election but from different partner parties. But you see, again, when it comes to sharing of resources, they go to parties based on the votes they garnered for all the elections. So you have to let go a few interests. How will you do it in 2022 to ensure, yes, you can have a path to the presidency, but also you have a path to majority in the two houses of parliament, and also that strength in numbers that helps the political parties fund share?
Well, you know, it would be premature to say exactly what we shall do this time round, because again, it all depends on the prevailing circumstances. You know, the kind of approach we take ordinarily is informed by the circumstances that are prevailing, and of course the need to win elections in an emphatic manner. Honorable Mbui has spoken very well, and it's true indeed that every single person would want to be the president, or every single political party would want to produce the president, okay? But the reality is that not everybody can become president. And even when people come together around the tables, or as it were, it is not necessarily people come together as equals. In politics, there's nothing like equality, really. That is the reality. And you know, as politicians, we like living in denial, okay? In politics, there's something like equality. and I leave that for now. What is also critical, and I support what Honorable Chris has said, is that when it comes to the matter of somebody being elected president, the issue of age is out, of course. From the constitutional perspective, it's out. But even from a practical perspective, it's out, okay? There's no evidence that one of a particular age set is better president than the other, okay? But more fundamentally, the issue of how many times one has run for president is also out. Completely. Because history is full of examples of people who ran for president many times, and they are there. Look at our friend in Senegal, former President Abdoulaye Wade. He ran for an uncountable number of times. Look at the late Michael Sata of Zambia. He ran for president very many times until he won ultimately, okay? You can go further to America. Look at President Joe Biden, okay? He ran for president, of course. He attempted to run for president many times, okay? Until he ultimately won. So the question of somebody having run twice, once, 4 times, 10 times is neither here nor there. What is important is that what does the country need, okay? And secondly, who has got the capacity to win an election? That is a fundamental question, Sam. Okay.
How do you measure that?
Well, it is common sense sometimes. There's not really no science in these things. You see, there's not really no science here. It's common sense. You need to know that if we are going to an election, which obviously is going to be contested by the Jubilee faction revolving around Tanga Tanga, okay? I don't want to say who in particular, but it's clear who their leader is.
You mean DP Ruto?
I suppose he's going to run for president, okay? You need somebody who is going to beat him hands down. In fact, round 1. That's why we are intent in ensuring that we have...
So looking at the party leaders, there's Raila Odinga, Kalonzo Musyoka, Moses Wetangula, Gideon Moi, and Moses Wetangula. Did I say that?
Well, you see, Sam, the jury is out there. That's a question.
No, you're here. I'm sure you have an
answer. Don't really need to ask. When you put to Raila, Kalonzo, Musalia, Wetangula, Gideon, our friend, and everybody else, you ask any other person who amongst them can win elections, okay? The answer is obvious. But
what if I ask you that?
We don't want to go to that kind of notion in our discussions. Let's please listen to me. We don't want to go with that kind of notion in our discussions with our
colleagues. There's something you've said that is very interesting that I would want Honorable Kamket to respond to, because Moses Wetangula says ODM would have to come as an equal partner. He says there's no equality in political parties. Do you agree? Because if that then is the situation, then it would appear that KANU is so small if you have to look at the share of the members of parliament you have at the moment.
Yeah, that's true. But you will be surprised at the strength we have on the ground. You will be very surprised at the strength KANU has across the nation. But you see, I want to shift a little bit on the, we have put too much premium on who is going to be the leader of Kenya. Yet we have, if we strengthen devolution, okay? We strengthen devolution, and I pray that the judges rule in favor of reforms. If we strengthen devolution and we have more resources going out of the center, this matter of putting too much premium on who becomes the leader of Kenya will really be solved, because there is so much that needs to be done at the grassroots, and so much so that we do not have to fight over who becomes the leader at the top of the executive. So our view as where we come from as KANU is that we really want to push for constitutional reform, so that ultimately the resources that go to the devolved units help our people develop at the grassroots.
Okay.
Now, as to who will become what is a matter of discussion, and I believe that, like I said at the beginning, KANU is fresh, and the leader of KANU is fresh in this moving forward to this 2022 elections. He's never run for president before, but he's had experience of government, just like the others. But I believe KANU is going to be the glue that will bring all these people together. Wiper, ODM, Ford Kenya, ANC, and Jubilee. Because they are all children of KANU, anyway. And since we know, these are all our children who left the house, we know how to bring them together. And
but they left at a time KANU had a very bad name.
Well, you know, it was not KANU, it was the Constitution, which was bad. It's not KANU. Yeah, so...
Okay, all right, Dr. Chris Omalwa, what does Ford Kenya want to do for Kenya?
Now, Ford Kenya as a party, when you look at our ideology, we believe in social democracy, and we want to form a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. And we know very well that you cannot form that government in isolation. We can only do that with other like-minded parties coming together.
Which is fine, but what I'm asking is, because we just have about 5 minutes to the end, you know the challenges that this country is facing. You can maybe point out on 2 and tell me what solution will be seeking for Ford Kenya.
When I say we want to form a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, I've actually summarized. When you interpret that, you want a government that will work for the people. The Kenyans, we know the problem that we're having in this country. One, of course, is corruption. Corruption is a big problem in this country. We want a government that's zero tolerance to corruption. And Ford Kenya as a party, we believe in forming a government where there will be zero tolerance to corruption. A report has been shown that 30% of the revenue we get, it goes through wastages. And we've seen it's happening in the Jubilee government. So one of the good governance we are fighting for is to have zero tolerance to corruption. We've had many people talking about the economic model. And I want to say this.
No, Dr. Christopher, I don't want you to go there, because on 30th of December, I believe it was in 2002, Mwai Kibaki at Uhuru Park said that the new government is a government of zero tolerance to corruption.
Absolutely.
It's been 19 years now. You're still saying that corruption is an issue. What mechanisms will Ford Kenya put in place, whether by itself or within a coalition, to fight it?
As a party, we believe in zero tolerance to corruption. And there are very critical institutions that are there when it comes to fight against corruption. Some of these institutions will be number 1 in terms of being strengthened. And being strengthened means in matters of budget. And the judiciary really leads the pack. We have the judiciary, we have the DPP, we have the Auditor General. I saw in yesterday's paper, my friend Honorable Wambugu of Nyeri, saying that he's bringing an amendment on the floor of the House to interfere with the JSC. And Ford Kenya as a party will be on the front line to fight that. And anything to interfere with the independent commission like the Judicial Service Commission, it must be a referendum matter. So us as a party, we believe in the rule of law and zero tolerance to corruption. And we're going to ensure this by strengthening those particular institutions.
How so?
Pardon?
How so?
Pardon?
How will you strengthen them?
Yeah, through budgets. You know, when it comes to budgets, much that we are told that Parliament is a budget-making house, most of these things are done at the cabinet level. You as a governor, I mean as the president, in your own government, like budget policy statement, is generated by the government. And it's through that we do the budgets. So one is you must demonstrate through budgets that if you want to strengthen these institutions that fight against corruption, it must be demonstrated through funding.
Okay.
If we look at the judiciary, the way it's been funded under Jubilee, it's a drop in the ocean. So that people wonder whether it's going to
some
be...
say, Dr. Chris Omala, some say that you are the members of parliament.
Not really. Nobody should lie to you. It comes through the budget policy statement. It's initiated at the cabinet level.
Be made at the National
you
Assembly
can't
level.
go beyond the ceilings. It can't go beyond the ceilings.
Honorable
I
Pio
can tell you that.
Or let me begin with the Honorable Mbowe. What do you see as the main challenge for Kenyans, and what solutions are you proposing from Wiper?
Yeah, interestingly, I think Kenya's biggest problem is greed. And I think that's exactly what he's talked about, that is corruption. And what we have is we are giving Kenyans a leader who has a proven track record of having served in government from a very young man, as a member of parliament, as a minister, all the way up to vice president, and who has no scandals of taking public monies all these years. I mean, the only one case that was mentioned about my party leader was a case of land in Yatta, which apparently has already been cleared, that this land was actually given out by the government, and the people that were allocated, one of the people allocated sold a small piece to him. And by the way, it's not even a highly valued piece of land. It's
So
just
how does that's fine.
What I'm
how does
saying
his
is that,
character translate to policies that make sure that we get rid, we deal with this?
I told you this before, that what happens is that in all organizations, a leader actually sets standards. And a leader who is clean attracts clean people to work for his government. And a leader who is not greedy, and a leader who actually espouses those values of Chapter 6 of the Constitution on integrity would also attract people that have integrity working behind him. So I think for me, we offer Kenyans...
Is that something all the 4 presidents of Kenya have lacked?
I think I don't want to speak about them. I'll speak about my own leader. I don't want to talk about them because, I mean, you know, Kenyans know the problems that we faced and the kind of situations that some of our leaders have put us in. I believe that if we have a leader that he himself is clean, then people would not have this interest of grabbing, as you know, as much as Kenyans have been exposed to all these years. So I think what we are offering is a clean leader, a leader who is going to set an example for everyone.
I don't know how that would work, because the president is on record saying that we lose 2 billion shillings on a daily basis. I don't think it's him who makes it get lost. But Honorable Pio and I, what would ODM do to deal with the issue of corruption? Because the two of them agree that it's one of the biggest issues.
Firstly, corruption is just one issue. Okay? But from where I see it as ODM, we believe that this country's bigger problem is the state of social inequality. That is really a sticking time bomb. No country can prosper, can develop or prosper in that kind of situation. And therefore, our priority as a party all along has been to ensure that once we take over power, okay, that we create opportunities, okay, for the economy to grow, and to allow the bigger chunk of the populace to get absorbed in the economy, mainstream economy, so that they can contribute meaningfully and also
how
benefit.
Would that be done?
Of course, through policy framework, Sam. Yeah, that's why I say you can't discuss it in 1 minute.
No.
Yes, through policy framework. Yes.
But you can summarize like...
Through policy framework, and then to deal with corruption, which is again a big problem, we as a party believe that corruption is better tackled from the head. We need to send signals. We need to send, need political goodwill, okay? We need the will from the very top to deal with matter corruption, and we shall also lead by example, okay? My party leader, or if God allows and wills that he becomes president, will definitely lead from the front in the fight against corruption. And you will see the effect, the trickle-down effect.
Honorable Pio, do you think President Kenyatta has led the fight against corruption from the top?
He has attempted, but I think along the way he has gotten frustrated by elements within his own government. So he has allowed himself to be frustrated.
So how sure are you, if Raila Odinga was to become president, a similar scheme would not happen?
But you know, Raila Odinga is not Uhuru Kenyatta. I believe you know that, yes, really. And neither is he Mwai Kibaki.
But there are schemers in government.
No. I'm saying the fight against corruption must start from the top. Yes, and the signals must be sent right from the top. Yes. Countries that have succeeded have shown so.
All right.
Yes.
He said that the key agenda for KANU is reforming the constitution, so that's why I'll not go to him. J.M. Osoma, this is a feedback you've been sending to us.
You didn't want me to say something.
I'll give you a chance. J.M. Osoma is saying that NASA principals know that Kenyan politics is not a Simon Makonde affair. You can't come from nowhere to become president. They can change coalition names or terms of engagement, but they know they have come to the age of making no more mistakes. Amaganga Mustaf, the process of electing a flag bearer in any coalition is the same all over the world, anchored on numbers. That means Raila's entry narrows the presidential contest between the two, Raila and Ruto. Beatrice Wanjiku Mbogo, if it's ex gratia, why didn't the register of political parties wire the funds directly to Ford Kenya or ANC or Wiper? They just didn't qualify. Oh, okay. I will not read that. Isaac Mutusi, priority number 1 for DP Ruto is bottom-up economics. Priority number 1 for Raila Odinga is trickle-down economic theory. Priority number 1 for Musalia is economics generally. Priority number 1 for Kalonzo Musyoka is to beat William Ruto. Wow. Wakili John, it's obvious, if the alliance falls on Raila, he will fail miserably. 5th time will dishearten his faithfuls. It's time Raila supports another candidate, otherwise his candidature has been marked by several opponents, and that's your feedback. And Honorable Kamket, if you can say it in 20 seconds, I'll be happy.
Thank you.
On the main agenda of KANU.
You know, if you look at the people that we want to unite together, you look at Wiper, you look at ODM, you look at For Kenya, you look at ANC and KANU, they are all children of KANU. And once we come together, Kenya is not short of policy. Number 2, in KANU, we strongly believe that the BBI constitution presents ideal moment for Kenya to prosper economically. And that's why we are really praying, and we are really praying all the time that the judges get inspired and rule in favor of reform, so that we transform the country from down, and we have across the
going up
devolved units, so that we have you know, we do not want to put too much premium on who is the leader. What is important is that let us improve the devolved units, and let's have Kenyans prospering from all over.
It's interesting you said that you want to prosper Kenya from down, but I'll leave it at that.
Down sideways.
Asante sana. Of course, the judgment on the BBI question is on the 20th of August. We also know the stories that are following up for is that the IBC selection panel has recommended some 8 names to the president for him to choose 4, send them to Parliament for vetting, and after that they should be appointed as commissioners. You'll be getting more details from Citizen TV's subsequent bulletins. My name is Sam Gituku. Asante sana. Honorable Kamket, Dr. Chris Omalo, Honorable Opio Wandai, and Honorable Robert Mboi for making time for us. Up next is Sporty Monday with Willis Raburu and his crew. Stay tuned.